Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Prabhudas Leeladhar webinar for the technical analysis. So friends, so far during the week, we have studied very many indicators to get us acquainted, get ourselves acquainted with the creating of trading strategies on our day-to-day market movements. So far we have begun with moving average, with the intraday perspective, even for the positional setup, the moving average crossovers, the introduction of RSI, that is the momentum indicator, the trend line patterns as to how the market moves in a particular pattern. And yesterday we did the Fibonacci retracement. So from the feedback that I'm getting, well, a few of you have not found this indicator a bit difficult. So today, before we start with the ADX, that is our next momentum indicator that we are going to study, before that, well, we had suggested let's do our homework on Nifty and Bank Nifty with the Fibonacci scale. So I hope many of you have done, and we will study this recent move of the market that we have been enjoying since the last few days. We shall study as to how the Fibonacci retracement is helping us so far. So let's get started with that. Yes, so this is the daily chart of Nifty. We have plotted our Fibonacci that when the previous trend is a downtrend that we have witnessed, and so we plot our Fibonacci scale choosing the peak and the trough. So when it is in a falling trend, we plot our Fibonacci scale right on the top, the peak area, and drag it down to the low, the trough. So that is what we have done, and from there we have managed to get the scale levels. So what do we mean? Why did we choose these two points? Well, we already were aware of the high that we had seen at 12,400 levels. Then we waited at 7,500 levels. Once we saw that the stock was, the equity, the index was picking up, we saw some signs of reversal. That is when the candlesticks refused to make lower lows. We were seeing that the forthcoming candlesticks that we were seeing post 7,500, they were in the reverse direction, implying that we were seeing some signs of reversal. We probably used the moving average of a smaller time period. We saw the RSI seeing reversal coming from the oversold category, even in the weekly chart. So that is what we confirmed, that market for now has bottomed out at 7,500 levels. And from there on, we saw some reversal coming in. So that is how we decided to plot our Fibonacci scale right from the peak to the trough. Now let us see step by step as to how we progressed to our buying strategy. So now, assuming that Nifty halted at 7,500, well, most of you are familiar with our day-to-day trading strategies that we offer you. Also, the levels, the support and the resistance levels that we give you on a day-to-day basis. We of course did not come to the 9,800 levels immediately once we saw the bottom of 7,500. We started taking the baby steps as to seeing how gradually we are seeing the up move coming in. So this is how we started creating our trading strategy. So keeping in mind the RSI, keeping in mind your trend line, keeping in mind your day-to-day candle studies, we saw that after Nifty saw the bottom of 7,500, and look at the candle precisely, we are seeing at the bottom level there is a doji formation. What do we mean by a doji? The doji, which we had done in our earlier lectures. If you are not familiar, let me just explain to you in brief. When the body of the candle is very small, that means there is a tug of war between the buyers and the sellers. The exhaustion of absolute sellers gets completed here and there is some buying interest seen. So that is the occurrence of the doji formation, whereby that is one confirmation that there is some selling exhaustion. Then we saw the next green big fat candle coming in, whereby we saw either perhaps there was a short covering or some buying interest coming at these levels. So that is what we meant, that there was a reversal sign. And mind you, the close was much higher than the previous two candles. So this confirmed our reversal pattern. And along with, let's have a look at the RSI. The RSI also is gradually ascending from its oversold zone. So once it's coming out of its oversold zone, we see this was one more fulfilling indicator that yes, we are going through a reversal. So coming back to the Fibonacci, we saw that the retracement has moved past the first support now, which is now the resistance. When you are going higher, we come across resistance. The higher levels are now the resistance zone, and the support levels are the levels which are the scale which is lower. So as soon as we crossed the 23.6 resistance level, our next aim was to move towards 9,300, 9,400, which is the 38.2 scale resistance. So we took quite a while to cross this. Until then, if you were familiar, if you were tracking our morning conference call, if you were reading our reports, we were always saying that 9,400 holds as a resistance level for now, unless and until we see a decisive move past 9,400, we would be now aiming at 98, 9,900. Now, yesterday we saw that the last candle formed, this is the update till yesterday, we saw market coming towards the high of 9,900 levels. And well, that also happens to be the 50% retracement. So yesterday, when we were studying about the Fibonacci retracement, we also said that 50% comes as the Dow theory. Normally in a bull market or a bear market, right now we are in a corrective move. So this is a pullback rally. 50% of retracement holds a lot of meaning. So this was a good opportunity for a counter trend. So the least we could do is a word of caution over here. We have been telling our clients, we have been asking you all to book profit, because we have seen a one-way rally coming right from, say, the recent swing right from 8,000 levels to 9,800, and that also happens to be the 50% retracement. So if we are not aggressive sellers, we at least book profit over here. And well, if we are tracking the markets today, our market is closed, but you see the foreign markets, SGX is giving minus around 300 points right now. It's showing as minus 300. Let us see how we face Monday morning. But well, so 50% retracement is a point of caution where we at least need to book some profit. It's always better to book profit rather than wait for the optimum, because we do not know the next move is going to be a gap up or gap down. So after going through this painful journey of going step by step, it's always better to have less profit or have our controlled profit rather than missing out on your all hard work put in right from the 7,500 to 9,800. So this could act as a counter trend over here. What do we mean by counter trend? If you look at all the indicators right now, they are not showing any signs of reversal, but 50% of retracement does call for a point of thought. So the thought is either we book out on profit if you are only a trader in cash, and if you are a future trader in future or options, we can just do on a safe side, we can hedge our positions. We may buy puts, because we may buy options, because that is limited. When you buy an option, your risk is limited. And so that is how you probably could either book out, or you hedge your positions, or you just go counter sell in Nifty, keeping a stop loss of 10,000 levels, because for some time it can make a high of 10,000. And if your stop loss is hit, at least you tried that, yes, you have protected your capital. So this is how Fibonacci retracement that we were talking in a theoretical language, that it acts as a counter trend, it acts for support and resistance. So right now when we are seeing the market showing a sign of pullback, we are waiting to see the resistance levels. So right now 10,000, 9,900 level acts as a resistance level. So if market, now we need to see whether it is retracing from here on. We do not know to what level is it going to retrace, but then again we take our gradual move as and when we see the next pattern occurring gradually. So this is what we are talking about Nifty, and now we go to Bank Nifty. So what we studied in Nifty, Nifty gave us 50% pullback. Now we come back to Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty comparatively has not been performing the way Nifty has been. Why so? Because you see the retracement, the bounce back is only up to less than 38%. So this is what Nifty has given a bounce back by 50%, and this has given a bounce back by less than 38.2%. So we say in comparison, Nifty has been outperforming. So over here also, you see the formation, the doji on higher level. Doji, as I just explained, that there is a possibility where the bulls and bears are unsure, and there is active participation coming from bulls as well as bears. So the bears have started becoming active as these levels as well. So let us see what happens on Monday. But again, this would act as a resistance level. So I hope I have made myself clear, and this is for better understanding. We are seeing the current market scenario as to how we have plotted the Fibonacci retracement and how we are taking our target levels, how we are deriving our target levels. So Fibonacci retracement is one of the ways, as we had just spoken about yesterday, because, well, the idea of studying each and every technical tool is to try to get the best buying entry and to book out at the optimum profit level. So this is how we are going to use today all the tools in combination. Now today we will be introducing ADX. So we complete with our Fibonacci. Let's see how this was our homework. Let us see what happens on Monday, and this will give us a clear picture. So now what is ADX? ADX is known as the average directional index. This index also helps us to get the strength of the trend. So we call it the trend strength indicator. This indicator consists of three components. One is the ADX line, and it is supported by the directional index or the PDI. PDI means the positive directional index, or the negative directional index, that is either minus DI or MDI, that is the minus directional index. So the positive stands for PDI, the negative stands for MDI. So when it is an uptrend, we follow the PDI. When it is a downtrend, we follow the MDI. What role does ADX do? So market can be somehow sideways. So that is when it is PDI and MDI which is very active. But the minute ADX rises above a certain level, it picks up momentum. We know that the stock or the index is going to get into a strong uptrend. So the levels and how the scale on the ADX works, we shall be studying. And well, of course, we will be giving a lot of examples for the same to make the studying easy. So trading in the direction of a strong trend reduces the risk and increases profit potential. The ADX is used to determine whether the price is trending strongly. ADX was developed in order to evaluate the strength of the current market trend. ADX is also used to quantify the trend strength. So once it moves past a particular level, so just to make it simple, it is plotted between 0 and 100, and there are levels, just how we in comparison to our RSI, when we say that it is coming out of the oversold zone or when it is coming back from the overbought zone. So ADX also, once it moves out of 25 range, we say that it is getting into strength. So we shall be making it simpler, but let's go through the theory to understand as to how we make use of the ADX. ADX calculations are based on a moving average of price range expansion over a given period of time. The default setting here too is 14 bars, although other time periods can be used, but this is by default that we use. ADX can be used on any trading vehicle such as stocks, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, and futures. It is an oscillator that fluctuates between 0 and 100. Below 20, it indicates a weak trend, and while above 40, it indicates a strong trend. So another two indicators come with the ADX that we just mentioned are the directional indicator, that is DI or PDI, and the negative directional indicator, that is minus or MDI. So positive DI measures the force of the up move to follow the uptrend, and minus MDI, that is minus directional index, measures the fall of the down move. Now ADX is non-directional. That means when ADX is on rise, when you simply plot the ADX, if you see it rising, it does not tell you about the trend. So it does not give you any direction of the market, but it just gives you the velocity or the strength of the trend. So ADX is non-directional and quantifies strength by rising in both uptrends and downtrends. So that is why it comprises of three components that we just said: the PDI, the MDI, and ADX. So when the positive directional index is above, how do we get the buy signal? This is what it tells us. When the positive directional index or the positive DMI is above, when we see a crossover between the PDI and the MDI, that is when the PDI is rising above the MDI, it gives us the buy signal. So the prices are moving up and ADX measures. So that would be the next step to see. When the DMI is above, that is when the negative directional index crosses over the positive directional index, it gives you the sell signal. That means that the market is on the reversal, it is on the sell side. So that is the help of this indicator to generate sell strategies. Now we shall be seeing the figure very soon. It shows an example of an uptrend reversing to a downtrend, and we will be seeing how the ADX is rising and how the positive and the negative directional indexes are performing. So when prices reverse, the negative directional index is crossed above the positive, and when the ADX rises, we say that the strength is seen in the fall or the rise. So here is the diagram of the rising trend and the falling trend. So normally the positive directional index is shown by the color green, the MDI is shown by the color red, and the ADX is shown by the color blue. So let's have a look. We are seeing the first buy signal. We have also made use of the trend line, and we are now seeing when there is a crossover of the positive directional index over the negative directional index, the ADX is still below 25. It is gradually picking up momentum, but it is creating a buy signal. So for safety purpose, we do not take buy on the very first candle. We wait for the second candle to come. If it's going above the previous high, it is a buying strategy. So the stop loss we maintain would be the low of the previous, a low below the previous close. So that would be the stop loss that you would be getting into. And then you see as it progresses, we are seeing that the ADX is rising about 25. And that is what we mean that there is the strength in the trend. So the strength is emerging as soon as we see the crossover of the ADX about 25. And as and when it progresses, you see an absolute bull market, it goes towards a high of 90s also. So this is how the ADX shows the strength of the trend. So here in this example, we are seeing that, well, ADX is going to as high as 50 continuously. And when it is receding, we mean it does not necessarily mean that it is a change in the trend, it could be that the strength in the trend also is fizzling out, and this is where we need to book profit. But is it the only indicator that we are going to use? No. As we have studied moving average, you could plot your moving average. Here we have seen a trend line break, so at least the least you could do is book your profit to see the next confirmation. The minute the ADX drops, it does not necessarily, as I said, that it may not necessarily mean that there is a reversal. It could be sideways, but we again see that, well, there are constant crossovers because there is choppiness in the market. As you see this particular time period, there is choppiness, there is no clarity in the trend, and that is why we see that there is not much of a movement happening in the PDI and the MDI. But again, a prominent crossover comes here between the MDI and the PDI, but ADX is below the 25 line. But yes, we do get into the sell strategy, because this is what is telling us that the selling is in the bears are in control, and now it is a sell strategy. It is time for a sell strategy. How have we drawn the trend line? Just a recap. Well, we are taking the important pivot lines and we are joining them to get a falling trend line. So we are taking the resistance levels from the trend line, as well as we are getting into our sell strategy following the MDI movement. And again, have a look. Once the ADX showing the strength of the trend, here it is the downtrend, but it is showing the strength of the downtrend once it is moving past the level 25. So that is what we mean, that ADX is helping us to show that there is strength in this downtrend. The downfall is not going to fizzle out. We are here to take some more profit for the stock to go down if you have managed your sell strategy right, taking into consideration all your indicators, whether it is your RSI, whether it is your trend line, whether it is your moving average, and all in combination. Also, when you use, well, they will be giving you similar signals as that the stock is weakening, it is making lower lows. So even if you study just without these indicators, when each and every bar you see, it fails to make higher highs. In fact, it closes at the lower low as the previous day, and it continues to make lower highs. So that is how, just by simple bar formation or a candlestick formation, you come to know that the stock is in a downtrend. So coming back to the notes, the directional momentum movement index, that is a PDI, is a trend following system. The average directional index, or the ADX, determines the market trend. When used with the up and down directional studies, that is the PDI, the MDI, it is an exact trading system. So these three things in combination give us very good signals. It is very easy to follow, and well, it maybe it gets a bit choppy like all other indicators, but well, we have to take support of each and every indicator, because they're during a volatile move in a narrow range, we do not see clear movement coming in any of these indicators. But well, then we have our use of trend line channels, and we see the narrow range. Then we, as we had studied the RSI, that it does not move above 50. So that is how, and also ADX also refuses to move above 50. So that is how, when in all in conjunction, we set our pattern that we sell off at the resistance and we buy at the support when the market is choppy. So the rules for using the directional index are simple. You establish a long position when the positive directional index crosses above the negative, and your reverse trade, that is your sell strategy, would be when your MDI crosses above the PDI. So in addition to the crossover rules, you must also follow the extreme point rule. When a crossover occurs, use the extreme price as the reverse point. For a short position, use the high made during that trading interval of the crossover, and conversely, reverse a long position using the low made during the trading interval of the crossover. So what we mean is that when you are coming towards the reversal pattern, when you are coming towards a resistance level, you take as a counter trend. That is what we saw even in the Fibonacci. You see the highest high for a sell strategy, like example, when Nifty was 9,900, you take the highest high, probably that level as your stop loss, and you get into your reversal trade. So that could be one of the ways. Or when you're coming towards the support level, when your ADX is just coming out of the 20 range, when your RSI is coming out of the oversold range, when you are having your moving average crossover, you take the lowest low of the previous low as your stop loss to take a buy strategy. So this is what we mean by taking the extreme points. For some traders, the most significant use of the ADX is the turning point concept. First, the ADX must be above both the directional lines. When the ADX turns lower, the market often reverses the current trend. So this we shall be studying in the diagram, in the chart presentation. The ADX serves as a warning for a market about to change direction. So as we said that it is not necessary when the strength fizzles out, it could either be a reversal, it could be either a consolidation, it could either be for a continuation. So that would we would come to know studying the levels of the ADX. So the main exception to this rule is a strong bull market during a blow off stage. The ADX turns lower only to turn higher. This is what we have seen in RSI also, when you're comparing RSI and ADX. So when the velocity, the strength of the indicator fizzles out, it retraces to an extent and again bounces back without going to the lowest level, but it takes support of the 50 level or 60 level and again shows signs of bounce back. We say that there is a continuation of a strong uptrend. So this is what we mean, that it turns lower only to turn higher for a few days later. According to the developer of the DI, you should stop using any trend following system when ADX is below both the directional lines. The market is in a choppy sideways range with no definite trend. So as we said that when there is the ADX or the RSI, I'm talking with reference to both, because I think you should plot both these indicators when you are using your price chart, so that you have a better understanding and you see that the indicators will move in sync, and that is how we will be comparing RSI and ADX. So when ADX currently, when it is below 25, that means it is not showing any definite trend. It could be a choppy session, it could be a volatile move. So unless and until it gives you a clarity that it is moving out of the 25 range, that means the strength is picking up to decide the trend. So ADX values helps traders identify the strongest and most profitable trends to trade. The values are also important for distinguishing between trending and non-trending conditions. Many traders will use ADX readings about 25 to suggest, well, so that is the first level of entry of a strong uptrend, at least for the trend to begin. So to suggest that the trend is strong enough for trend trading strategies. So conversely, when the ADX is below 25, you will avoid trend trading strategies. You will be going for sideways move. So here is a table which will help you to evaluate, where we just mentioned the starting is 0 to 25. That means there is no trend observation. Market is choppy, market is sideways. When we elevate our levels, when ADX is on rise, it crosses about 25. So the trend is picking up strength between 25 and 50. If you see the past data, when the market was in a strong uptrend coming towards 12,400 levels, you would probably see that ADX was towards a level of around 80 and 90. So that was also, those were the levels that we had witnessed. So 25 to 50 is strong trend, 50 to 75 is very strong trend, and 75 to 100 is extremely strong trend. So once we start crossing 75 levels, like how we see in the RSI, that in a bull run, it is above 75, above 80, and when the ADX about 75, about 80, well, then we are here for a change. We are here for some consolidation. consolidation. We are here for start booking profit. Then you wait for the next move, whether we are stopping at the overbought zone of 70 or ADX also 70 to get into the next bull run, or are we seeing the reversal? So again, in sync, when the RSI leaves the overbought range and comes down, it breaks the overbought line, which we have either drawn at 70 or 80 in a bull run, as I had said earlier, 80, and in a regular run, well, it was 70. So when it decisively breaks and the ADX also retraces from its peak and slides down, that means it calls for a reversal. So this table will really help you to gauge the velocity, the strength, the momentum of the trend. So low ADX is usually a sign of accumulation or distribution. When ADX is below 25 for more than 30 bars. So well, it is the congestion period. It is the accumulation period. That is what we call consolidation. The price enters. Eventually, it has to show us a direction. So either it is sideways in between the trend, or either it is, well, that is the time when we make use of channels. Also, when we are not clear about the continuation or a trend reversal, we wait, we take support of all these tools that we have studied. And along with ADX, when the bar in the oversold or the overbought zone are in a range of 25 to 30 continuous bars, we know that now it's high time market needs to give us some clarity. So the price enters into a range condition where price patterns are often easier to identify. So that means that it's ready for a takeoff either ways. After a congestion of 25 to 30 bars in consecutive nature, we need to have some clarity. The market has been buying time to decide the next move. That is what it means. So price then moves up and down between the resistance and support to find the selling and buying interest respectively. So that is what we mean, that it is a breakout out of consolidation. It is a breakdown out of consolidation. And that is what, with all the indicators, we know whether we are in a continuation or a next round of up move, or we are breaking the trend to go in the reverse direction. From low ADX conditions, price will eventually break out, and that is how ADX also, once we see increase in volume, once we see increase in buying interest, ADX is going to move out of its 20 band. So have a proper look. This is for better understanding. For a long time, very long time, the market or the stock has been, and this is what we see very many times in either in our stocks that we choose, or we see in the index, where there is no clarity as to which direction are we going. But if we focus also along with the ADX, we have done some study of chart patterns. Have a proper look. This is a formation of a cup and handle. So this we had done in our very first webinar. Well, to those who have not attended that, we are seeing that this is a bowl-shaped formation. And if you see the subsequent fall, the retracement is barely, not even towards 50% of this particular rally. It is just probably 23.6%, and that is what it depicts, the strength of the stock. So the next round, when we are going to see, when you see also with the pattern, there is a cup and handle formation. It calls for a next big up move. So this is what exactly has happened. Now, do you see how we combine the pattern formation and the tool, the technical tool that currently we are studying, that is the ADX. So it is a sideways move all along. The minute we see that there is a cup and handle, we see a minute retracement. From there on, again, it is picking up. So this also can be called as higher bottom formation. This is in the process of higher bottom formation. So there are so many logics to this. There is a cup and handle formation. There is a higher bottom formation. The stock is ready to breach the previous high, and the ADX is coming out of the 25 levels. So this gives us confirmation. So we are not in a hurry. We have not made a hasty decision. We are doing with all the indicators supporting our view that now we are ready to go for a higher target. So this is how, friends, everything in conjunction. In my very first lecture, I had said that there is no definite study, there is no definite tool that one needs to follow. It is as per the formation at that very time. You could probably take support of your patterns that you have studied. You could probably take support of your trend lines that you have studied. If you are a Bollinger Band, you would wait for a squeeze. You could wait for the range which it shows, because there is a median in that. You could probably take the RSI and the moving average combination. You could also make use of your Fibonacci retracement levels. So whatever suits you the most, just have a grip of 2 to 3 indicators which you would constantly use, because over a period of time, when you constantly keep seeing the charts, there is an eye appeal. There it is something like that the chart is trying to convey. It is trying to, it is just trying to tell you that, well, maybe I would see a higher top formation. If this is what it is, if the stock is going to have, we do not have this following data, but you make a judgment that, yes, if I want this stock to have an uptrend, if the stock is likely to pick up, if you like this stock, you're going to see that, is it in the process of making higher bottom? Is it in the process of a retracement, whereby it would retest the low? So when the retracement is more than 50%, well, we know that it does not call for a strong uptrend. It could be a sideways move. It could be uh, with a less momentum. But when the retracement is less than 50% of your previous rally, you know that the stock is ready for it. The idea is to make higher top and higher bottom to get into an uptrend. So see how well we have combined all the studies that we have done so far to come to a judgment that, well, we are ready for a new price high. So this is how we are going to study. Now, talking back about this explanation, we saw that the ADX was below 25. When it rose about 25, we were getting into a trend, and periods of low ADX led to price patterns. And we saw that this was a formation of a cup and handle. And when ADX rose about 25, we saw what happened. The direction of the ADX line is important for reading the strength. When the ADX line is rising, the trend strength is increasing and the price moves in the direction of the trend. So mind you, with the ADX, we are also following the PDI or the MDI. So that is what is giving us the direction of the trend. The ADX is giving us the strength, and the PDI or the MDI is giving us the strength of the trend, whether it is upward or downward. So when the line is falling, trend strength is decreasing. So when the ADX, after making a peak, when it is retracing, like RSI, ADX also shows us a negative divergence or a positive divergence. This we shall be studying in the forthcoming slide. So a common understanding is that the falling ADX line means that the trend is reversing. This is not so. This is what we just mentioned in the very first slide, that it could be for a continuation. That is, it could be just a consolidation. It could just be taking time for the next round of momentum. The clarity comes only when it recedes to a certain level. And of course, we take support of the RSI to determine whether it is the end of the trend or whether it is in continuation. A falling ADX line only means that the trend strength is weakening, but it usually does not mean that the trend is reversing unless there has been a price climax. The direction of the ADX line is important for reading trend strength. When the ADX line is rising, trend strength is increasing and the price move in the direction of the trend. That is what we just studied. When the line is falling, the trend strength is decreasing and the price enters a period of retracement or consolidation. So, well, this we need to wait whether we are going to get into the new trend, because if we are taking support with the help of the other indicators, that would be creating a good buy opportunity, a re-entry, or maybe add to your positions and go through the next round of momentum. So again, that we just studied that ADX, well, when it falls, it is just a misconception that it is a reversal. It is not so. And now let us go to one of the stocks whereby we are studying as to how the ADX, the PDI, the MDI is going to help us to form a trend. Now look at the stock. Well, all this while it is in consolidation. We are not getting clarity whether it is in an uptrend, whether it is in a downtrend. So over here, as I said, ADX is normally shown in color blue. The PDI is in green, the MDI is in red. So time and again, we are getting signals of buy and sell, buy and sell. So what would we do? We would either take a broad-based trend line support and take a range. So over here, the support comes at around 2000 levels and your resistance level is around somewhere 2200, 2300 levels. So when you draw a channel, you know that the stock is moving in a particular range. And also we are not getting any clarity as far as your signals are concerned because your ADX continues to be below 25. So that confirms that there is no strength in the trend. There is no strength either ways. Whether it is a bull or a bear move, we do not know. And so we will be taking support just for the past references that we have studied. Even the moving average, it's time and again just moving above and below. So what would we do? We would wait for the support and resistance level, sell, exit your buy strategy at the resistance, and probably try to buy near the support levels. So we would draw in a straight like this, we would draw just the two trend line as channels. We would trade in this particular range, and well, there is no clarity. Now have a look. There is a crossover of MDI and PDI. Well, that has happened many times, but there was no confirmation. But the minute the ADX rose about 25, just see the pickup. So now in this case, it is MDI, which is a crossover above MDI. That means, MDI crossover above the PDI. So the MDI is rising, the PDI is down. That means it is the downtrend and the ADX is also on rise. So we see that there is a strength in the fall. We saw this fall, and now again we were still not clear because now as soon as we saw the fall, the ADX is on fall again, and we do not get a clarity. Again, we are getting a buy strategy over here because now it is the PDI crossing the MDI, but it holds no strength. Why? Because ADX is again below the 25 level. So this is how we do take a buy strategy, but we know that for now, there is no strength in this trend. So we would again try and play in a narrow range. So this is how we get into our trading strategies today following ADX, PDI, MDI. Now let's see HCL Technologies. So HCL also similar pattern. There is a very narrow range, no clarity. We have just used the moving average, the 14 period moving average, and look at the ADX. The minute it rose above, there is already a crossover of PDI over MDI. So it is giving us buy signals. It is holding on to our moving average as a support. And minutes when it rose to 40 levels, it peaked over here. And then again, we see that there is a fall. That means the strength of the trend is weakening. And well, of course, we got the confirmation because there was a breakdown. We saw continuous red candles happening. We saw that there is a breakdown of the moving average showing weakness over here. And now there is again a cross of MDI over PDI, and the ADX continues to be about 25. So we have reversed our strategy from a buy. We have booked profit if you are not an aggressive trader, or if you want to be on both sides of the market, you would then exit your profit. You would take your now the stop loss over here would be the high, the previous high. So over here, there is a cluster of moving averages, the first three candles above the moving averages. You would either take that, or if you want to be liberal with your stop loss, you could take the previous high. So, sorry, yeah. So this is how we reverse our trading strategy. We could either go into now sell, or you book your profit, stay in cash and wait for the next direction. But well, if you are an aggressive trader, you reverse your trade, you get into your sell, you plot your stop loss right at the high of the candlestick, and then you write down because ADX is ascending, it is going towards the peak, it's making new highs, and the MDI continues to be above. The minute ADX is now from its peak receding, we know that the strength of the downfall is now coming down. And then when you see that, well, there is again a moving average crossover happening, you may at least come out of your sell strategy. You may book your profit here and then wait for a confirmation. So again, you see that there is a crossover of PDI above the MDI, and with your moving average, what we studied, that we take the first candle as your signal, we follow the subsequent candle. If it's making a new high, we get into the buy, and your sell stop loss would be the candle, the low candle made below the moving average. So we would take, say, around 400 level as your stop loss and get into the trade. And once we see a pickup, if we see a pickup coming in, that is the ADX rising about 25, we know that there is strength in the momentum, and well, we are here for higher targets. So this is how we have studied two stocks with the help of this indicator. Now let's get back to some notes. The series of ADX peaks are also a visual representation of overall trend momentum. So just how we have been comparing between RSI and the ADX, let's see what is the similarity. So momentum is the velocity, it is the strength, it is the speed of the movement. So that is what we mean by momentum. So it is a velocity of price. A series of higher ADX, it shows that the momentum is increasing, and a series of lower ADX, we mean that the momentum is decreasing. So similarly, we have also spoken about a recap now on RSI, that when the price continues to make higher highs, and when the RSI fails to make higher highs, in fact, it makes lower highs, that means the strength of the indicator is weakening. The strength of the momentum in price is eventually going to fizzle out. So that is what we mean, that when it makes lower highs, same case in ADX as well as RSI, you know that this momentum is going to fizzle out. So any ADX peak above 25 is considered strong, even if it is a lower peak. In an uptrend, price will continue to rise on decreasing ADX momentum. Why? Because that will just call for a continuation. So, well, it could call for a pause in the strength. And when it is just holding on to the 60s, 50s, if it has gone as high as 80 or 80, doesn't matter as long as it's about 25. But if it's holding on, if it's just sideways, that means it's ready for a takeoff, ready for a new round of momentum. So this is how we study. We have done the negative divergence very clearly in RSI. So this is how the case in ADX also. The price index, the price chart shows higher highs formation, whereas the ADX over here, it is continuing to be about 25, but it is not making new highs. It is making lower highs. So that means that it is going to, the strength of the trend is likely to fizzle out. And well, of course, over here, we have used our moving average. We would use our trend line, and the confirmation would come with the break of the trend line, break of the moving average, the ADX going below 25, that means it is calling for a reversal. So this is what we have studied so far as ADX is concerned. Now, ADX can also show momentum divergence. That is what we just spoke about, the negative divergence or a positive divergence. When price makes a higher high and ADX makes a lower high, there is negative divergence or non-confirmation. In general, divergence is not a signal for a reversal, but rather a warning that the trend momentum is changing. That is what we just saw. It may be appropriate to tighten the stop loss or take partial profits. So this is a clear picture as to how the ADX, the MDI, the PDI, they move the three in complementing each other. So as just a recap, look at the ADX when it is, if you are just going to see these three indicators, you can say the story of the stock price, because when the ADX is below 25, we don't see any trend. When it goes above, we are seeing that the trend is picking up, and a crossover of PDI over MDI with the ADX rising shows us the strength in the trend. So this is just the technical tool which we are studying by itself to make it simpler, that how these three indicators in combination are going to help you to take your trading strategies. So over here, we can tell that the market is sideways because ADX is below There are constant crosses between the MDI and the PDI, which is giving no clarity. So we would take support of the trend line channel, or we could take the support of the range made by us, or perhaps the Fibonacci support and resistance level. That could be of more help. But once it is getting into a trend, all these indicators work very well. So needless to say, which we have spoken many times, ADX has to be about 25. The crossover, this is the buy strategy that we are going to follow. These are the rules that one must follow to get into a buy trade. So what is the buy trade? Well, the first buy trade comes when the PDI is crossing over the MDI. So ADX should be over 25. That is when people who are only catching the momentum trade. The DI, positive DI is crossing over the negative. Stop loss should be set current is low. So we had mentioned about how to plot the stop loss. So the current candle low, what we are seeing, if you are an intraday trader or if you are a daily trader, then you see the first signal, what you are getting, you take the low of that candle. The signal should not be abandoned. So even if there are constant crosses between PDI and MDI, as long as the current period stop loss that you have plotted is not breached, you continue with your buy strategy, because initially you may see some rough move coming in, but the minute the ADX crosses, you know that there is clarity, it is getting out of the range and it is ready for a takeoff. So the signal strengthens if the ADX rises. If ADX is strengthens, that means you keep on elevating your stop losses, you keep on having your trailing stop loss, and that is how you get into the trade. Now, same way for the bearish view. ADX, of course, because it is the indicator to show the strength of the trend, whether it is uptrend or downtrend. So ADX should be on rise. The negative directional indicator crosses above the positive. Stop loss should be the current candles high, because now we are going to get into a sell trade. So we will take the high of the candle, which is giving you the sell indicator. And once the ADX is on rise, you know that you are in the right trend. You can add to your sell positions, and of course in sync with the RSI or other indicators, this will help you, and subsequently you can follow a trailing stop loss. Once the ADX is on rise, you know that you are on the right side of the trade, and now you can keep taking your profit margin once you have your trailing stop losses intact. So this is how we would study the Nifty right now. So as I said that, well, we are not in a strong trend right now because ADX has come down. So all this while we saw that when the fall was occurring, the ADX was on its rise. The ADX has fizzled out. That means it is calling for a reversal or a sideways move. In this current scenario, you see the RSI is also on rise. So that means that, well, we are calling for some bounce back rally to occur. And we also studied that 98, 9900 with the help of Fibonacci ratio, we are respecting the 50% retracement. And well, it could be a sideways move or it could be a reversal, because still ADX is below 25. So we have done a lot of indicators in this week to help us create a buy strategy or a sell strategy to understand the market. So friends, I hope this has been of help to you, and because it's the need for having a dynamic way of thinking. Market continues to be choppy. We need to learn to change our views the minute there is a reversal in our technical tools that we are using, because, well, it often happens. And even after years of being in the market, once you use your particular trading strategy and you derive a potential target, you get hooked onto that. But we are not ready to change. Once there is a reversal in the technical tools, we still want to hook on to the expected target levels, and whereby our profitable trade turns into a losing trade, and it gives us a different picture altogether. So it needs to The technical tools are here to help us to change our views the minute we see the change, and we can be prompt in our trading strategies when we are following on a regular basis. So I'm sure these three tools that we have learned, in fact, five to be clear, well, RSI, moving average, trend lines, the patterns, the Fibonacci ratio, and today the ADX with PDI and MDI. So you may use any of these, a combination of any of these, and well, try to make your own strategies and maximize your profits from here on. So we can conclude as far as the training is concerned. I'm open to questions that you would like to ask. How to calculate PDI, MDI, ADX? There are a lot of formulas. You can take it from Investopedia or something, but it is all inbuilt. So you just got to plot it. So you need not, unless you want to do it on your Excel, then well, there are many formulas available. There are books on this, so you can refer those. ADX is meant for, it's supposed to be a leading because it's a momentum. It is telling you the momentum, so it's a leading indicator. Which time frame is best? Well, the rules apply same for any time period that you use, depending on what you are, intraday trader, whether you are a daily, referring to the daily chart or the 60-minute chart. The rules are the same, the studies remain the same, but well, it just, you have to decide which time period, and well, you close your positions accordingly. Do we consider the value of ADX? Yes, ADX, of course, we need to consider the value, because as I said, if it is between 0 and 25, it holds no meaning. There is no strength. So if you're trying to take a trend, you want to grab the opportunity of enjoying the ride, the trend, what you want to get into, because ultimately it is the trend that is going to give you the profit, because sideways move will not give you that much profit. So ADX will definitely, the value of ADX is definitely going to help you. And well, this question is not clear. A bearish DI, it is either MDI or minus DI. So ADX is coming down from top, but greater than 25. Yeah, so as I said, that it could mean that it is taking a pause to their strength, but well, the momentum is still intact. There is no reversal unless and until we see that the fall is drastic. Yes, it is automatically, means there are these three different technical tools, PDI, MDI, and ADX. You got to plot it on the same time frame, and yes, that is how it will work in sync. MDI also, so MDI, the value of MDI and PDI need not be taken. It is ADX above all gains the maximum momentum. So of course, so then it is a downtrend. Yes, we can use it for intraday also. So to smoothen the noise and all, well, there are so many things that you can use. Even try using Bollinger Band, because that also shows very well where when the market is sideways, it has a median in between it. When the market is consolidating, it's ready for a squeeze breakout. Try using, see what works well for you. But these are the ones which are commonly used, which is very easy to understand. So I have started with the indicators, the tools which would very commonly be used, and it's very explanatory. Once you see it on the chart with your price chart, it helps you to derive your levels, and also that's about it. Okay, so thank you everyone. We conclude and see you soon.